In the year 1492, Christopher Columbus crossed the Atlantic Ocean and discovered the continent of America. Immediately, other European nations began establishing settlements, forts, and larger colonies in the newly discovered continent. By the late 1600s, the English had established a solid foothold in the Americas. In the area that is now the northeast of the United States, they had founded a number of permanent settlements. These settlements became known as the 13 Colonies. The colonies were Virginia, Massachusetts, Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, North Carolina, South Carolina, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Georgia. These colonies were started by people who left England in search of religious freedom, economic opportunities, or just plain adventure. Many of these settlers were Puritans who were escaping religious persecution in England and wanted to start a more religious society in America. Settling the colonies was not easy. It involved clearing lands, building homes, and establishing trade and commerce. It also involved dealing with Native American tribes, many times hostile towards the settlers. Over time, through a lot of hard work, the colonies grew and prospered. But they also grew frustrated with the British policies that imposed taxes on them without their consent. They felt that they were not adequately represented in the British Parliament and that their rights as English citizens were being violated. By 1773, tensions between the American colonies and Great Britain were at an all-time high. On December 16th of that year, American colonists, frustrated and angry at Britain for imposing taxation without representation, dumped 342 chests of tea, imported by the British East India Company, into the Atlantic Ocean. This would become known in history as the Boston Tea Party. It was a significant act of rebellion that helped spark the American Revolution. In response, Britain imposed the Coercive Acts, a series of laws designed to punish the American colonies, but instead, it helped gather support for independence among the settlers in America. And in 1775, the first shots of the Revolution were fired at the Battle of Lexington and at the Battle of Concord, marking the official start of the war. George Washington was made Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, tasked with leading the united military effort of the colonies against Britain's imperial forces. Over the next few years, the colonies would fight for their independence against the might of the British Empire. In 1776, they officially declared their independence from Britain. Thomas Jefferson drafted the Declaration of Independence. The war would rage on for several more years, but finally, the American colonies were able to defeat Britain through the effective use of guerrilla tactics and the support of France, both in terms of supplies and military aid. It is estimated that approximately 25,000 Americans and 25,000 British soldiers died as a result of the conflict. Finally, in 1783, the Treaty of Paris was signed, officially ending the Revolution and recognizing the independence of the United States of America.